My name is Keisha Lee. All my life I've been on a search for purpose. Once I found it, it became my mission to find others who feel that they are living their purpose in life, in hopes to encourage others to do the same. This is Purpose TV. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Purpose TV. Of course, I'm your host, Keisha Lee. I am here with Renaissance Jones. Welcome him. He is amazing. I met him through Facebook, of course. Most people I've met lately through Facebook. He has done some incredible projects that I've seen him a part of. Very different, very dynamic. And I was just like, whoa, what? Who is this guy? And then he just keeps, seems like, and I hope he uses the right word, reinventing himself. He does so many things, wears so many different hats. I had to have him on the show. So, welcome, Renaissance Jones.
Oh, thank you for having me. That was a great introduction. Like you up there with Sway's introductions, because Sway be putting it on there. So I appreciate that.
You are very welcome. Thank you. I'm honored by that. Thank you for coming, for one.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Oh, again, I did say you wear a lot of hats. So please tell us how many hats you wear. What are all the things that you do?
Oh, well, right now I am I'll say this, writing is my base. So that springs in everything. Okay. So I am a spoken word artist working on my album right now. About to film our first feature film. I'm a director, filmmaker. Nice. I'm also an actor. I'm an author.
By the way, dope.
Oh, thank you. I'm an author. And I mean, you can technically say I'm an amateur boxer right now. You know
I'm seeing you doing what's up. I'll be like, okay, what was it? I think it was today or yesterday. I saw you in the gym. I swear you looked like you were upside down.
That was yesterday, and then I also put some stuff up today. So yeah, no days off. No days off.
Crazy. So do you do fitness training?
I used to, but I don't have time anymore. Like I do have a small little challenge I set up because I had a couple of my friends who were saying, hey, could you make me something light where I can be wherever and do it? And I was like, yeah. So I sent it to about 12 people. It's 4 exercises that I told them to do for 30 days. It's just something light because like I said, I'm gonna work out regardless. So it ain't nothing to put a camera up and be like, hey, you can do this too. So.
All right. Okay. Out of all the things, let me ask this first then. All the things that you do, which one did you start doing first?
Writing. I say writing because I've been writing since I was a little kid. I don't know if it's in the genes, the DNA. Like my sister has in my parents' basement, she has a book full of stories. Not just a book, I'm talking about like books full of stories. As well as that, we've always wrote. My uncle, he's published at least 4 poetry books. My dad published one before he passed away. We're just a writing family. I don't know what it is, but if you give us a journal, it's gonna be filled with stuff.
Nice. Okay, so what type of writing did you start doing? Just like storytelling type things, poetry?
A little bit of both, storytelling and poetry. Because I actually was, I think my mom said or whatever, 2nd and 3rd grade, I started entering poetry competitions at school and stuff like that, and I would place pretty high for my age, so that's where I really started it.
Nice. Okay. I don't want to dive into the book too quick.
Okay.
I want to, but I don't. Well, I'm trying to wait. Trying to wait because I got the book. I haven't had a chance to read it. I'm so mad about that. Okay. I've been so busy, but I cannot wait. He signed my book. You know what? Okay, so since we're already talking about the book, so let's talk about it. What's the name of the book that you just wrote? Is this your first book?
It is my. I had a poetry book before this.
Okay.
In 2011, right after I got out of the Marine Corps.
Okay.
I wrote most of it in Iraq, and when I got home, I just went to found me a publisher and put it in like that. So this is my first official book, but I had a book before it was a poetry book.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so what's the name of this one?
The name of this book is Remember Your Jones, Lessons That My Father Taught.
Okay. For one, what prompted you to write this?
Well, my father passed away unexpectedly October 30th, 2017. And the week of his death, my mom let me use his car, driving around his car, and one day I was just looking through his stuff, and I found this book where it had future goals. And it was funny because I said this, we were closer to him and his dad because his dad wasn't around, but at the same time, I felt like I needed to be, I guess, more successful before I could actually have a certain relationship with them. So I kind of was a little distant at times just to try to, and I found this book, and it was funny because his future goals aligned up with mine, which were helping at-risk youth and helping veterans. And I just thought that was wild. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Yeah. And I know that even when you read the book, you'll see that when you start looking back or whatever, I realized that he was like the neighborhood dad. We didn't, before we moved to the suburbs, we weren't always in the best neighborhoods. Like I tell people, like, if we lived here, you know, Section 8 was right across the street, or the hood was right there. So all my friends came from over here or whatever. Yeah. And they all always wanted to come to my house. And if anybody knows my dad is a Marine. If you know Marines are strict. Yeah. And then you combine it with who my dad was. So he was super strict. Yeah. So I was always like, why do y'all want to come to my house? My dad's not going to let us do anything, you know. Because their moms are always working. So when we go over there, we did whatever we wanted to. Yeah. My house was structured, but they always wanted to come over. And as a grown man, I'm like, okay, they were looking for that father figure, you know. Yeah. But as a kid with the father figure, you're like, man, I wish I had your, you know.
Right.
I didn't really know how lucky I was. So, you know, I just had unfinished things, I guess, with my dad. And I guess it was a way for me to deal with everything. So I got an outline and I just started writing. I mean, it took 2 years. I've revised it a couple times and what I wanted to say and exactly where I wanted to go. But, yeah, I went tough. And the cover actually this was our final picture together. This was when he was in the hospital. This is where I came in and he was passed away. And I didn't want no pictures of his face. Like even the funeral, I let everybody know don't, because I've seen a new trend where people were taking pictures of the person in the casket, and I let them know don't take. I don't want to see my daddy on Facebook like that, you know. Yeah. So that was the final picture I took of him. And yeah, I just was like, I'm just gonna use it, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, we are gonna be right back with more of Renaissance Jones. Stay tuned. We are back again with Renaissance Jones. Okay, so we didn't talk about how people can get your book before we went on break. So how can people get it?
Well, if you are in North Carolina, preferably you can contact me directly. If you're out of the state, it's on Barnes & Nobles. It's in Barnes & Nobles, and it's also on Amazon. I'd rather you go to lulu.com. You can find the website on my page, only because Lulu is quicker with it. I've seen where on Amazon they're talking about 1 to 2 months for delivery. That's why I'm telling people, hey, just go to Lulu and have it sent to you, put your review on there. Or you can actually go in Barnes & Nobles and they'll order it and it'll get to you even faster. I don't know why Amazon's taking so long, but yeah, lulu.com or contact me directly.
it was something that you said. One of the things when I first started following you, you said that you were struggling finding opportunities, so you created them.
Oh, when I said I told you, I said I originally did not want to be a filmmaker. I just wanted to act.
Right.
Yes.
And then you said you start like, you remember that?
Yeah.
You remember like that? So
I definitely remember.
yeah. Touch on that. I thought that was fascinating because people are always looking for somebody else to, discover them or whatever the case may be.
Well, basically, I started acting, and originally it was even hard for me to get roles. I was never, and still to this day, I'm never above not auditioning. Like I tell people all the time, like, hey, I audition for the part. You know what I mean? And when I first started out, a lot of people, I wasn't getting opportunities to even audition. And then when they were trying to cast me, I was being typecast. I understand I have a rough around the edges look.
Yeah.
If you meet me and really don't know me, I can seem rough around the edges. I got tattoos and stuff, so, and I talk with a marine mouth. So I can see why they would put me in a certain box, but I'm so much more than that box. Right. And I love us, I love us, I'm for the culture,
Yes.
But at the same time, I feel like sometimes we have a tendency to limit ourselves. And it's no shade, but a lot of our filmmakers make the same type of films. And I watch them, I'll support them, but I wanted to be in a different route. Like I even started auditioning or trying to audition, like the thing said, if I fit the description except for it was a white dude or somebody else, I would still put in for it. And they'd be like, you're not white, right? I'm like, so I want to go for the part. And again, I was getting shut down there too. So I said, you know what, let me just make my own stuff and put us in it, because we've been waiting, especially from the responsive guy, we've been looking to be in different stuff, so we watch different stuff.
Yeah.
Like, technically, as far as consumers, we consume more than anybody. So Star Wars, all these sci-fi and whatever. Yeah. I'm not saying other people don't contribute, but we make that shit run. So I feel our filmmakers have to or need to step out the box, step out of the lane and say, hey, I can make this stuff over here too. Like, I love what Jordan Peele's doing as far as he's being different and black people are showing up and saying, hey, I really like that. I know some people didn't get us or whatever, but simple fact of what it did, period, So we can break out of the box. I'm glad he's doing that for the mold, and I'm even glad what he said about not casting a white person as a lead, and I fully agree with that. Like, I don't know if you saw my new short, New America.
I did.
Okay. I had it live, and I talked about, originally, I had two Caucasian males that were supposed to be, one looked very presidential, one was supposed to be the newscaster. But I had a partner from my film company who said, hey, I thought you started the company to put us in different lights. I said, you know what, you're right. So I uncasted them, and I put the black female and him in there as those roles to show we can be in different stuff too. And I commend them on their acting simply because if you don't get past the first 3 minutes or whatever, they carry the first 3 minutes before you see what else is going on.
Right.
So they have to, so you are all in when they're doing their thing, and then when it gets to it, you're like, oh. Right. So I commend them for doing that, and I'm glad I went with them instead of trying to be similar to everybody else.
Right. I'm glad. Okay, so it's called America.
New America.
New America.
Yes.
With K's.
Yes. it's only 2, and it stemmed from a conversation. It was, like I said, there's a disclaimer that says it's not meant to offend anyone. It was just, I was having a conversation with one of my friends, he's Christian, and he was saying, he was questioning certain things, and he felt like he was getting dogpiled. And from that conversation, it was like, hey, what if the world was like, what if America was like the Spanish Inquisition, where if you did this or whatever, and I thought it was just an interesting conversation. I said, I'm gonna write a script like that, just to play around, and it's doing very well.
Like, so there's like a process that I think most people don't actually think about. So there's writing it, then getting the cast together, filming it, then editing it and putting it out. So were you a part of that entire process?
Yes. Actually, for the cast, like I said, besides the 2 Caucasian people I went out and found, I pretty much knew who I wanted in it, and I called them and they were down. So
Nice.
casting is twofold for me. Sometimes I know when I read the script back, I'll be like, I know exactly who can play this. Let me just see if they're available. Or I'll read it and I'll be like, okay, I'm auditioning for this because I don't really know.
Yeah.
And it was just a simple matter, because it was just short, so it was a simple matter of getting my actors, getting my locations, and then making the schedule. Before the schedule, I made a shot list, make sure I talk to my crew, and so when we get on set, they know what I want. Every once in a while, I'll reiterate, but for the most part, when we get on set, they pretty much know exactly what shots I want, when, where, how, why. And I always leave a shot or two open, because you be on set, and for me, I'll see something and I'll be like, hey, before we stop, I want to do like this. Like the final scene where she talks about the shaving of a man's beard and he brought him out, that wasn't in the script. It was, we had finished it and I was sitting there and I was like, we can't end it like this. And I was like, and I remember Paul, he actually had trimmed his beard in the bathroom. And I remember that there was a passage in the Bible and I was like, hold on. And I Googled real quick. I wrote it down to her. I said, okay, say this. You grab him out of there, move the camera close to her. You say, God bless America, and smile. And that's how that went. So sometimes I just be there and I'll see something and I'll be like, hey, throw this in.
But you have a production company though, right?
Yes.
Okay, what's the name of it?
Ye Are God's Production.
Ye Are God's Productions.
Yes.
Okay, how long have that been in existence?
Really technically only a year. We had the name for about 2 years, but we kept it on the wraps until I put, copyright and stuff on it.
Gotcha.
So we had the name, it was just like, okay, we're gonna keep this on the wrap for a little bit and do this and then we'll come back.
So is it a team of you guys?
Yes, it is a team of us.
Okay.
It is 7 altogether.
Wow.
You have to have a team. Like I always tell everybody, when I first got into it, I saw a lot of people who they want to do everything by themselves, and it's like, when you watch a real movie, if you actually sit there and watch the credits roll, it's hundreds and maybe thousands of people who actually helped to make this.
Yeah.
So one person, you might be good at what you do, but you can be so much better with other people. So basically, teamwork makes the dream work. Like, I can't light a scene. I can light a scene, but it's not going to look as good as the people on my team who that's what they do,
Right.
And even my verbiage, if you look when our shorts or films or whatever come out, it's our new project.
Yeah.
We, my team. Because in Hollywood, if you are just an assistant on the set, your name's on the thing, somebody sees you out there and be like, oh, that's my movie.
Yeah.
It's everybody's movie.
Right.
And I think we need to get in that mindset that this is a teamwork-driven industry. I feel like too many people, especially on our level, have egos to where it's like, my, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, nobody's there yet,
Yeah.
So the short, I always let my actors see it first, actors and crew see it before I put it out.
That's good.
And everybody liked it, and everybody would hit me up individually because I had a group message, but everybody hit me up individually like, hey, you did a great job, hey, blah, blah. And after the 4th person, I went to the group message and I told everybody, say, stop hitting me up individually saying, I did a great job.
Yeah.
If you weren't there to act in it, just like if he wasn't there to hold the camera. So stop putting it all on me that I did a great job.
Right.
We did a great job.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I know there's a lot of, and I have an ego too, but you have to check it. You have to know when it's purposeful. And in this is a team sport.
Right.
So, yeah, I hate when people just say, oh, you did a great job.
Right.
And you're my main actor. It's like, we did a great job,
Right. Of course, it's purpose TV.
Yes.
Do you feel like all of the hats that you wear, do you feel all of that is your purpose? Or do you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose in your life?
I do. Okay, well, I'll say this. Because I know for me, I have a problem and intensity, and I'm trying to learn how to be mindful and live in the moment. Because certain things happen and they're successful, but instead of enjoying it, I keep moving like I'm not there yet. Keep my head down, keep moving. So I do believe that I am living my purpose, because I believe that what you're naturally good at, or I've heard this plenty of times before, what you would do for free is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm a polymath. If people don't know what a polymath is, it's a individual that is great at a lot of different things. And I feel like most humans are polymaths, but we've been conditioned to, oh, if you do this, just do this. But I do think I am living my purpose. Sometimes I used to think, man, I wasted so much time. But as I look back on my life, I see that time was building up to where I am now.
So I know that once we had a conversation, and if you don't feel comfortable about, addressing this at all,
Okay.
it was about depression.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel comfortable talking about that and some words of encouragement that you can give to other people who are battling depression?
Definitely. I'm actually doing something, it's a small vlog that I'm doing. I'm going to be collecting emails and kind of get your email, like people who bought my book and stuff like that. I'll be doing a small vlog about my own depression, because I'm actually had a conversation with my mom last week, and I almost had a mental break, and we had a conversation, and she said, I've never taken it seriously, and I really haven't, to me, because I'll be depressed for like one day, then well, that was nothing, and put my head down and keep going until something triggers me again. And she reminded me that, you have had suicidal thoughts. Remember when you were in Big Lots when you were 16 or whatever. So I'm 34 now, so it's been going on. But like she said, I never took it seriously. It was like, oh, it's just life, So now I'm actually going to get help for it. So I'm very, what's the word for it? I'm all about mental health, so I have no problem speaking about it because I deal with it, and I've realized that when I actually talk about it, there's so many people who will come out the woodwork. I'm not going to say the names, but there is one peer of mine who I said something about. Every year I say something about depression, and I said something last year, and I didn't know this person was depressed, and they hit me up and was like, yo, you inspired me, and I'm going to start doing a daily thing. And now daily they do a daily prayer, and I think it's awesome, and I feel that, yeah, because it's funny, every time I say something about depression, there's always a new person who might even be close with, who'll be like, yo, I didn't tell nobody, but I've been going through this, or blah, blah, whatever. So, for encouragement, I would say, first of all, admitting you have a problem is the first step in anything, acknowledgement. Second, getting help. I've been to therapy after Iraq before. I have no problem with therapy. I actually advocate, especially for a lot of our people, to get therapy, because I feel like a lot of us do suffer from depression or post-traumatic stress. Like, I was talking to one friend or whatever back home, he was saying people say he have anger issues, and I told him, hey, you need to go talk to somebody. And this girl was looking at him, and he was like, you too, Joe? And I was like, you too? And I was like, yeah. I was like, bruh, there was certain stuff we shouldn't have saw, and you probably held on to that stuff or whatever like that, and it's a lot of people who, like D.L. Hughley said something profound where he said, if Tyrone sees his cousin get shot or whatever, he goes to school and they know about it, it's normal, he's in the hood. But if Timmy in the suburbs see his uncle get shot, it's like, hey, let's get Timmy some help. And we're always saying, like if you say, it's even been a stereotype on our television where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get therapy. That's that white people stuff. And it's stigmatized. Just like, not even to get off subject, but just like if you think about reading or talking properly. Oh, that's the white people stuff. And it's, why? What are you talking about? Everybody could use from some.
That all my life.
Everybody, and I feel like everybody could use from some therapy, because if you don't, I feel like even if you don't get therapy pills, whatever you need to do to get your mind right, I think you should go for it, because when you don't, you overcompensate or could do either harm to yourself or do dumb actions that weren't really you, it's just you were not in the right mind state.
Wow. Thank you.
So get help. Get help is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like I meditate, relieve stress. I read, relieve stress. And even like my boxing, like I know somebody was saying, they're like, it's so violent though, but I was like, but for me it's peaceful. Like,
yeah.
even though it doesn't seem peaceful, because I do get hit and I hit back, but it's a stress reliever or release,
yeah.
combined with all the other stuff I do. So I jump out there and say, hey, this is what's going on with me.
Right.
Just so people can be like, you? Well, if you got a problem, I can say I got a problem. And I feel like, because actually, I knew I had that power after Iraq, when I started going to therapy, a lot of the black men Marines would pull me to the side like, yo, hey, does that really work? Like, they were ashamed to say something.
Yeah.
But I got at least 6 of them to go because I was like, go do your thing, man. Like, you might break down, but it's all good, you know. Okay, you can reach me on Facebook at The Renaissance Jones, Instagram The Renaissance Jones. Yeah, if you just Google Renaissance Jones, you'll find me wherever you need to get to me.
Yeah. All right.
I am not my flesh, I am this breath. You question me like I question death, cause it does not apply to me, you, or I. So I'm trying to figure out why you're scared to die. Thought you believed in God and Jesus, I'm confused. Like you try to tell me what I believe, I'm amused. I'm a free thinker. That's an iceberg to a Titanic big sinker. Marine, no drinker, and fuck staying in my lane. I roll with no blinker. If life is then I'm trying to drink her. A polymath empath, knowledge seeker who loves liquor. Blessed for what I've been given. Oh, that's it. Y'all need to forget. I was gonna do your whole verse.
Everybody, Renaissance Jones. Oh, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you, and I wish you, like, oh my God, much success.
Likewise, Queen, likewise.